guys, Magdalena here from Hormones Balance, and I wanted to share with you a slice of my life with you about a tea that has become part of my daily routine. What's so special about it is that this tea is not only loaded with polyphenols and L-theanine, the site especially here, I'll tell you about in a second, but it also tastes amazing and it's super easy to make because it's fully dissolvable. The way it is made to be dissolvable is because it's all made from crystals. These crystals are basically made originally from tea leaves, right, that are dehydrated under pressure and then turned into these crystals that are fully dissolvable in water. And I love that because it makes things just so simple, especially when you want to quickly make a tea when you're traveling around. So a couple of options for those of you who are okay with doing caffeine. And I still think that this is a better version than coffee would be for two reasons. Coffee is super acidifying. It is a really rough source of caffeine, right? So the difference with teas is that all these teas that you see here are very high in polyphenols, which are naturally occurring substances that are highly anti-inflammatory, and also they're very nurturing, but they also a natural occurring antioxidant. But they're also high in L-theanine, and I'll show you some of the packets at the back actually have that written, how much L-theanine they contain. L-theanine is a natural occurring calming substance. So that's the part of the beauty of using tea, whether it's green tea, whether it's, I'll show you every one of them in a second, but it's basically, the beauty of it is that you get that energy boost, but at the same time it also gives you the calming effect from L-theanine. L-theanine is also the precursor for producing GABA. For those of you who know you're struggling with anxiety, GABA is the neurotransmitter that's often responsible. Low GABA is also responsible for causing anxiety. So this can help mitigate it. I would always want to warn you that, if you are struggling with your adrenals, caffeinated drinks are not the way to go, especially not many of them. And if you are doing caffeine because you feel like you're ready for it, it gives you a little nice gentle boost, always have it after a meal. You also have non-caffeinated options here. So let me just give you the lowdown of every one of them. This is green tea, organic Sencha tea, which is the most common green tea that you find in Chinese stores, Chinese shops, restaurants, and Japanese restaurants. Next, we have white peony, which is one of my favorites because it actually helps women with PCOS, which is pretty amazing. Next one is oolong, which is one of the famous Chinese teas, which is often found like in specialty Chinese teas. If you like different types of Chinese teas, this is an absolute, oolong is a real treat. Also, my personal favorite is the organic Earl Grey. One of the beauties of this tea is the fact that, when you do Earl Grey in a tea bag, bergamot is the oil that's used to flavor Earl Grey. When you put hot water into the cup, what happens is the oil dissipates really quickly. That doesn't happen with this one, and that's what I really love about these teas. All of them are organic, and I've asked the founders of the company to send me toxicity reports of the tea, which they had, and it all looks good. And then one of my other second favorite is the organic jasmine tea, which is like, if you like jasmine, that is just an absolute treat. Now, at the back of the label, what's cool about it is that, for example, I'm just picking up here the jasmine tea. It gives you a profile of how much is there caffeine, polyphenols, and L-theanine in every one of these teas. So let me pick up another one. Let's just say I want to show you the white peony tea, which is also very, I have to say all of them have different, obviously, flavors, but they're all very likable. They are not weird. They are not acquired taste, if you will, right? And again, so for example, the peony tea will have slightly less caffeine than, for example, jasmine, and a little bit less L-theanine, but it's also much higher, in polyphenols. So what I'm gonna just, and then let me just cover these non-caffeinated teas, which are amazing, and this one is let me just recall the name, citrus mint, ginger mint. And then we've got here the organic hibiscus mint, which is my other favorite, especially if I'm doing it later at night and don't want to have anything caffeinated. This is number one. This is a beauty, rooibos and vanilla rooibos. So these ones are all three of these are non-caffeinated. If you're not doing caffeine, that's a really great option. So just want to show you how simple it is to make, and that's part of the reason why it became such a big part of my life. So I'm just gonna take maybe I'll do the green, the sencha tea, which is such a classical green tea. One thing you will learn from reading the labels here as well is that you do not want to be pouring hot water straight into a green tea. That's what makes it feel very bitter. So green teas, we generally want to be really, in order to preserve the polyphenols, we want to be using first cold water and then only adding hot water if you want to have a hot drink. So the packets, they all come in these little packets, right? Which is really awesome. Super easy to travel with. I've been doing that a lot, especially lately. I've been traveling quite a bit. And then just put it into glass. I'm using a mason jar here. And I'll put just at first a little bit of water. Give it a stir. So a little swirl like this. As you can see, this is already completely dissolved. I could have used warm water, hot water right after that to top it up. That's also completely doable. That works too. And it's just, you know, I can't tell you, like, the fragrance that it retains. It's got such absolutely wonderful, it doesn't have that bitterness. A lot of people are very turned off with green tea. Rich flavor, very refreshing. It almost feels like the tea was just picked and you're putting that in your mouth like right now. Amazing. So let me maybe show you another one. Perhaps the white peony. Again, it all comes in these super easy to use sachets. Okay, and I'll just one of the other ones. So there you go. Boom. Slightly different color. You can see this is brown in color. So again, I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit of water first. Give it a swirl. Oops. A very vigorous one. And let me just wipe that off. Let's have a clean table. And add some water. So you can see the color is slightly different, right, of white peony. Fantastic. It tastes like a black tea with a floral undertone to it. Let me pick my favorite on this side here, which is the hibiscus mint, just to show you the absolute incredible color that this tea comes with. So this is a non-caffeinated tea, and it can be served both cold as well as it can be done totally hot. But you always want to start off with cold water first. Dissolve the crystals. Just check out this color. All right. I can already smell the mint from here. And you know, for someone who has worked with food so much, and I'm a big fan of clean food, so much so that when you eliminate all artificial flavors and you know, preservatives in your life, it's easy to pick up when there is an artificial flavor added, right? So I can tell you right away that from the smell of this tea, it smells real. Very nice hibiscus. It's not sweetened, right? So it's up to you what you want to sweeten that with stevia or a natural sweetener or not. And the mint comes through so beautifully as well. None of these teas is using artificial flavors. There is one tea, I think, which I don't have here. It's called the white, peach tea, I think. And it says natural flavor. That's because the flavor of the peach is actually being infused into the tea, but none of that is artificial. I think there's also a great opportunity for you to try out different flavors. whether it's caffeinated or non-caffeinated. And the link to get the boxes is going to be just down below this video.